4 of revision for Maths GCSE Higher, and today this will be Pythagoras and Trigonometry. And let's just get started. Question 1. Remember again, anything with a star is a calculator. Work out the length of QR, give you answer correct to 3 sig fig. So QR will be this length. And when you get two triangles, the one that's to the left in this case is the one that we're going to be working out first, because we're going to need information to work out QR. In this case, we're going to need this length here, QS. Okay, so on the left side triangle, which is PQS, let's work out this length. This is trigonometry because we've got an angle and we've got sides involved, and it's a right angle triangle, so we will be using SOHCAHTOA. Let's label the triangle opposite adjacent hypotenuse, and we want to work out O, given that we've got A, so it's O and A. So I'm just going to use TOA. Okay, so we want to work out O. So up equals tan theta times adjacent. In this case, it's going to be tan 38 times by adjacent, which is 8.4. And if we do that, we get 6.56, etc. So now that I know this is 6.56, I can go again with this right-hand side triangle, and this side would be the opposite this time. This would be hypotenuse, and this would be adjacent. And we want to work out QR, remember, which is H, given that we got A this time. So this time we're going to be using the K. And we want to work out H. So hype equals adj divided by cos theta. So in this case, it's going to be 6.56. Remember not to round too early, please, because if you round too early, it could affect the overall accuracy. So this 6.56 is still in the calculator, and I'm going to divide this by cos theta, which is cos 44. And if we do that, we get 9.12 centimeters to 3 sig fig. And that is finished. Number 2, calculate the area to triangle BCD. BCD is the top triangle, so of course we need this length. Okay, and the top triangle does look something like this, where the height is going to be 4.9 centimeters. And as you can see, we just need the base for that. So we're going to be using Pythagoras here for the bottom triangle. This would be 5.4 squared plus 7.2 squared. And of course, don't forget to square root this answer. And if we do that, we get 9. Okay, so this means this length is 9. And then all we need to do here is half base times height. So that's going to be 9 times 4.9 divided by 2. And that'll be the final answer, which is 22.05 centimeters. Done. Question number 3. This is an exact trig values question. I would put the effort in learning the table of the exact trig values, as it really will help you boost your marks in these types of questions. Filling in a missing table for the exact trig values. If required, use the equilateral triangle for aid. So this equilateral triangle is actually very, very helpful, especially if you have not learned the table. Because as you can see, we can work out cos 30 quite easily from here. Because this is an equilateral triangle, this would be 30. That means I can use the SOHCAHTOA rule. So this could be O, this could be H, this is going to be A. And this length here of A, if you think about it, if this is 1, this is going to be 2 squared, take away 1, which would be the root of 3. So this would be root 3 here. Okay. Now if we want to work out cos 30, cos theta is equal to adj over hypotenuse. So in this case, adj would be root 3 over hypotenuse, which is 2. Tan 30, okay, same thing here. If you want to work out tan 30, tan theta is opposite over adjacent, so it's going to be O over A, so it's 1 over root 3. Okay, that's done. Part B, we have a fraction here where we need to simplify top and bottom, and we are using exact trig values again. I'm just going to write up the exact trig values first before I put them in. So cos 60 is a half, tan 45 is equal to 1, sine 60 is equal to root 3 over 2, tan 60 is equal to root 3. Okay, just going to fill these in. So 4 times cos 60. So 4 times cos 60. So it's 4 times a half minus tan 45, which is 1. And all that is multiplied by root 3 over 2, or divided by tan 60, which is root 3. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. So 4 times a half is 2. 2 times 1. Sorry, 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times root 3 over 2 is just root 3 over 2, or divided by root 3. Okay, I'm just going to rationalize that with times top and bottom by root 3. This will be root 9, which is 3 over 2, all over 3. Okay, and then this is just 3 over 2 divided by 3. So let's put it here, and this becomes a key flip change because it's a division fraction. So 3 over 2 times 1 over 3, so that becomes 3 over 6, which is a half. And that is done. Number 4, work out the length of BC to 3 sig fig. Okay, so what are we using here? We got side opposite angle, and we're looking for a side that's also opposite angle. So this tells me this is the sine rule. We're looking for a side, so the best way to use the sine rule is side up. If you're looking for an angle, I would do angle up. And they do give you the sine rule. Okay, so we want to work out, well, I need to label it first. Let's call this, that is big A already, so this will be little a, this will be little b, this will be little c. And I want to work out a, so that's going to be a over sine 42 equals, now I'm going to compare it with the c, so I'm only using the c fraction here. No need for the b fraction. That's 5 over sine 53. Rearrange for a. Just put that into your calculator, and once you do, you get 4.19 meters to 3 sig fig. That's finished. Number 5, ABCD is a parallelogram, and we're given some lengths here for AB, AD, and angle BAD is 74. Calculate the area of the parallelogram and to 3 sig fig. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this? Could we perhaps, if I slice it down in that section, that would be right angle, so it would be perpendicular to the base. Could I work out the length and then use the base times height? The only problem with that is, while that's okay to do, it's not the most efficient way to do it. I could work out this or this. In this case, that's what I really want, is the height. You could do it that way, that's fine, but I would not do it this way because there's a quicker way to do this. What I can do is I can split this into 2. Not go that way actually, because that will interfere with the 74 degrees. I want to keep that in check. I can split the parallelogram this way. Why do I want to do that? Because I can use the half AB sine C, which is the area of a triangle. Just a general rule that if you have a triangle and there's an angle, then you've got 2 sides, and you have this angle. This is a really good way to see that I can use this area of a triangle rule, which I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do half times 6.7 times 8.9 times sine 74. So if you have an angle between 2 sides, yes, you can use half AB sine C. Just a really quick way of knowing when to use that. And if I do that, I get 28.6 and so on. But remember, that's only half the triangle. Keep that into your calculator, don't round it. Times that by 2, because as you can see, we've got 2 sections here, A and B. And if I times that by 2, I get 57.3 centimeters squared to 3 sig fig. That's done. Question number 6, similar to question 1, we do have 2 triangles. WXY is a straight line. Calculate length YZ. So YZ is this length. So again, if we have 2 triangles, the one that we want at the end, we can't work with that yet. We need to work with the left-hand side triangle. In this case, what could we work out then? Well, we could work out this one, this angle here, I mean, because then 180 degrees on a straight line. You might want to take a few moments when you are doing these sorts of questions, just really check what can I find out, which will be helpful going forward. And it will be this angle at the bottom. Okay. And again, we have a very similar situation. angle opposite side, angle opposite side. So I will be using sine rule for that first triangle. Angle on top first, so that's going to be sine A over A, because we are looking for the angle. It's better to use this format for the angles. Okay, I don't really need to label it here. I know I just need the opposite and I just need two opposites really. And I do have sine 61 over 13.1. And let's just say the next one is sine B. So that's going to be sine X over little b, which is 11.8. Rearrange for sine X. So I'm going to times out the denominator, 11.8, to the other side. Also, do remember that when you do this, remember to inverse sine to work out the angle. So whatever this is, I'm going to invert the answer, and I get 51.98. And again, I'm just going to leave that to your calculator. Do not round too early. Again, I must stress that. 180, take away the previous answer, and if we do that, we get 128.02. Now, two decimal places will be fine. Just do not do 128 degrees, for example, because you are rounding too early. But because we want 3 sig fig, because it hasn't told us to round, but 3 sig fig would be fine. So 128.02 will be fine. Okay. Now, lastly, what do I have? I have an angle and I've got two sides. From experience, I know that's going to be the cosine rule. So cosine rule is a squared equals b squared minus c squared. Oh, sorry, plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Okay. Now let's just say this is a squared. This side is the a squared. So that this must be the other two sides. So b squared, I can just say that's 13.1 squared plus 7.8 squared minus 2 loads of this. And cos a, which is the opposite angle, which is 128.02. And do remember again to square root the answer. Very easy mistake to do is forget to square root. And if you do work that all out, you get 18.93. So I'm just going to say 18.9 centimeters to 3 sig fig. Okay, we have a 3D trig question here. It wants us to work out the line BE and the angle between BE and the plane ABCD. So ABCD is the flat surface, and give you answer to one decimal place. In this situation, if I go down from E to D, this will give me a second side of a triangle. From this second side, if I go across to B, this will make a triangle complete, but it creates an angle between the flat surface ABCD and the line BE. This side is going to be 10 because it's the same as FA, it's parallel to FA. What I want to do is I want to work out this side, and I can work out this side by working out this triangle. This side of the A, this side is going to be 8. What I'll do is I'm going to write or draw two separate triangles. The one at the bottom, the red highlighted one, this will be 24. This will be 8. As you can see, to work out the hypotenuse, we're going to use Pythagoras. So that's 24 squared plus 8 squared. Square root this answer, and we get the answer of 8 root 10. So dB is 8 root 10. So just put that there. Okay, so we're going to draw in the uppermost triangle. This would be 10, and this would be theta. This would be 8 root 10. Now I can use trigonometry. This would be O, this would be H, this would be A. I'm using O and A. So I want to use tan theta equals O over A. So that's going to be 10 over 8 root 10. Inverse tan to get theta. So that's going to be inverse tan of whatever this answer is. And we get 21.568 degrees. If we round that to one decimal place, that would be 21.6 degrees. And that's finished. Question number 8, we have a sine graph here with the interval between 0 and 360 degrees, as we can see from this point to this point. Use the graph to find estimated solutions to sine x equals 0.6. Okay, it's estimated because we won't know the exact values. So what I need to do is locate the 0.6 on the y-axis. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, so that would be there. And what you need to do is, with your ruler, is draw a line all the way across. And then what we can do is work out what these are going to be. And as you can see, there's two solutions here. So the difference here is there's 5 blocks. So 90 divided by 5 is going to be 18 degrees. So that means each little block is 18. So this would roughly be 36. And what we can do, if that distance there is 36, I can go backwards from 180. So I could do 180 take away 36, and this will give me my other angle. And those will be our two solutions. So this will be 144 degrees. So that'd be 144 degrees. So our two solutions is x equals 36 degrees and 144 degrees. And that's done. Question number 9. Sketch the graph of y equals tan x between 0 and 360 degrees. This graph is the one that causes people the most trouble because it can be a little bit awkward to sketch. But as a rough idea, this is what it would look like. We have a single wave coming up, then we have what we call an asymptote, and then we have another double wave, then another asymptote, and then a singular wave at the bottom. Okay. The asymptote will be at 90. This will be 180, so this will be 270 there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line at y equals 90. And let's just going to move this across. That's about there. I'm just going to do another one. That's 270. It's perfect. And I'm just going to draw the lines in. Let's do a different color. Remember, the first wave, it won't touch this asymptote. It'll just get closer and closer and closer forever and ever. And the same thing with the bottom wave. It's not perfect, but that will do, I think. And lastly, the bottom wave. Okay, and that's what it looks like as a sketch, and that's finished. Question number 10, we have a bearings question with trigonometry. Okay, so the diagram shows the position of 3 villages A, B, and C. The bearing of B from A is 054, as we can see there. The bearing of C from B is 132. Mela walks from A to B. Okay, she then walks from B to C, and then from C to A. The average speed is 6 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time it takes. Give you answer in hours and minutes. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to work out what angles I can first. Remember, we can use the C-shaped rule, which is the allied angles rule for this one. So this part would be 180 take away 54, and that would be 126 degrees. That means I can work out this one because all angles in a turn or a point add up to 360. So 360 take away 126, take away 132, and this angle here would be 102 degrees. Okay, so we have an angle and we have two sides. It looks like we can work out the length of AC by using the cosine rule. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So in this case, if I want to work out ac squared, this would be b squared, which I could just call that 8.4 squared, plus 3.6 squared, which can be c, minus 2 loads of these, cos 102. Remember to square root your answer, of course, so whatever that gives you, and that will be 9.8 something, but again, don't round too early. So this is 9.8, this is our total length for AC. Now we can work out a total distance. Just add all the sides together, 3.6 add 8.4 add 9.8, and if we do that, we get 21. Remember that 9.8 that kept on going, so that's going to be 21.802, keeps on going. Okay, so remember the speed is 6 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time. Okay, now we are using speed, distance, and time here. Okay, so To work out the time, we're going to need total distance divided by average time. Sorry, average speed, of course, average speed. So the total distance is going to be 21.802. Divide all of that by 6, and we get 3.633 hours. Of course, that's 3 hours plus 0.633 hours. Let's turn this last part into minutes. Remember, there are 60 minutes per hour, so all we need to do really here is times 0.633 by 60, and you get around 38 minutes. So our solution to this answer is 3 hours and 38 minutes. And that's finished. And that is the end of Pythagoras and Trig. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful.